going to look about factors that influence demand of a product. Okay, you see these factors are also called determinants of demand. And at number one, you're going to look at price of the commodity. So when the price of a commodity increases, demand decreases. This can is just experienced during the bidding system. They start at a lower price where many people want the commodity, and they keep raising the price until there's only one person who wants the product and they sell to that person. So that's simply the price. Level of consumer income. An increase in consumer income, disposable income, generally leads to an increase in the demand for goods and services. For example, maybe you're earning, maybe this where the point of budget line comes in. So you won't go beyond past your budget line. So when your disposable income increases, your budget line increases. So meaning, if your salary increases, generally, your demand for normal goods will increase. Note at this point, we also have some goods that won't behave the same. For example, when your salary increases, your demand for second-hand clothes will decrease, but your demand for salt will remain the same despite your salary increasing. So we have some goods that won't behave the same. So goods that behave like this are called normal goods. So we look that under types of goods. Yeah, but just note that not all goods will behave like that. So we have price of related products, and products are related in two ways: complementaries and substitutes. So those commodities that are used together, those are complementaries. For example, car and fuel. So let's look at the demand of fuel. If the car of prices increase, if the price of car increases, this means that people won't be buying cars. So if people won't be buying cars, meaning they won't be buying fuel. So that's why we say an increase in price of complementary causes a decrease in demand of the other good. What about substitutes? These are commodities that can be used instead of each other. For example, tea and coffee. So if the price of coffee increases, people will tend to buy more coffee, increasing the demand. That's why we have said an increase in price of a substitute causes an increase in demand of the other good. So what about at number 4? We have changes in taste, fashion, and preferences of consumer. So if taste change in favor of a commodity, more of that commodity, they will buy more of it. So this is just because the point, I think, is just self-explanatory. If people will like your product, they'll buy more of it. So yeah. At number 5, we have government policy, and you note that this is just one point. You can choose to say government policy and explain taxation. You can choose to say government policy and explain subsidies, but you cannot say that these are 4 points. They are just on one point under government policy. So government policy, there are 4 points that government policy can affect the demand. So at A, we have taxation. An increase in tax of a commodity increases its price with the effect that its demand falls. Subsidies. What are subsidies? This is where government meets part of the production cost of the production cost. So if your part of production cost is met by the government, this means that the production cost is lower. So if the production cost is lower, then it means that the price is lower. Lower price, high demand. What about legislation? These are laws passed by the government to encourage or discourage consumption of certain commodities. So we note that we have some commodities called the demerit goods. These are such as alcohol, cigarettes. So you see, government may pass laws to discourage consumption of these demerit products. For example, maybe the government may say they may reduce the opening time of bars to discourage the consumption of alcohol. Yes, that falls under legislation. Price control. The government may control prices of certain commodities to ensure that the demand remains high. So you see, we have some products which are produced by monopolies. So the government must control these prices so that people can afford these prices, these commodities. So that's under price control. May say that prices of certain commodities should not go beyond this price. Maybe let's say sugar or maybe other things. So we also have seasonal changes. The demand for some commodities depend on the season. Yeah, basically maybe during the rain season, demand for umbrellas will be high. Yeah, and like when there is no rain, people want to buy your umbrellas. So we have also changes in population. So these are demographic factors which include size or composition of population. So size generally an increase in population will bring about general increase in demand for goods and services. For example, just for instance, a school with little students or few students will consume less bread than a school with so many children. Yeah. We also have the composition of population. We have gender, age, so many religion. So we see about gender, you also need to consider a population with more of women, the demand of women products will be more. About age, you have the children, you have adults, youth. So children composition will demand more of children products. Uh, we also know that you have also other factors such as distribution of income, many factors. For example, let's talk about distribution of income. So a population with where income is more distributed, the demand is higher. And like where the income is not distributed among many people. For example, a place where there are many people in the middle class will consume more, and like people where many of them are, maybe say many are poor, but some are richer. So you see their income is not distributed equally among people, so the demand is generally lower. So that's it for today. We in the next video we'll talk about factors that influence supply of a product. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.